Our paper is called Being In on the Action in Mobile Robotic Telepresence, Rethinking Presence and Hybrid Participation. I am Andriana Buduraki from the University of Nottingham's Mixed Reality Lab. So have you seen robotic telepresence robots? They're kind of like Skyping on wheels. So they allow someone to remotely drive a robot around whilst having a video call projected on it. So the remote user can move in space and have a physical presence in it. You can see two examples on the screen, and they're fairly simple. They have a tablet or a screen for a video call, and that is attached to a sort of pole, and at the bottom there are wheels, and the remote user can drive them from an app or a browser interface. So studies report that these robots help a remote user feel more present. However, the technology is not very widely used. So what exactly is going on? To better understand mobile robotic telepresence, we sought to examine what using the robot is like from the perspective of the remote user, and more specifically, what this sense of presence means to them and how it fits into the whole experience of using the robots. So we draw inspiration from phenomenology, which originates in philosophy and is concerned with understanding lived conscious experience from people's first-person perspectives of those experiences. So in the end, we suggest a different way of approaching robot-mediated communication, and we propose moving away from focusing on whether the remote user feels present to focusing on how well the remote user is able to gear into the action of the mediated activity. So for our study, we found and interviewed 7 people who had used mobile robotic telepresence as part of their daily lives at work or at home for extended period of time. So we're looking at real-world use and use by people who have a lot of familiarity with the medium. During our interviews, we asked them to describe good and bad experiences they have had with the robots, so as to get really detailed, rich accounts from the points of view of users. We analyzed the data using thematic analysis and through the lens of phenomenology. And in doing so, we've identified 2 themes, one pertaining to the troubles of perceiving and doing things as a robot, and one pertaining to presence in mobile robotic telepresence. So the first theme highlights that the experience of being telepresent often involves a lot of difficulties in doing things relevant to daily interactions, such as hearing people in space, seeing people's faces, manipulating things, opening doors. And whilst this has been mentioned in previous literature, we keep it in our report to highlight that these issues persist even after prolonged use, and to show that even if people find strategies to compensate and manage those limitations, they still remain a core part of their experience as users. Moreover, we highlight that perceiving and doing things via robotic telepresence appears to be an active undertaking. So something as simple as turning our neck to glance around the room, which we do without much thinking, is not only a lot slower to do on the robot, but requires conscious and intentional effort. Drawing on phenomenology here, Heidegger argued that when we use something with ease, it fades into the background of our experience. Things enter our conscious experience when we are forced to notice them, for example, when they break down, and then they become present at hand. In this case, the robot as a medium is present at hand quite a lot, as the users are required to notice it in order to move and perceive their environment. So it rarely has a chance to fade into the background of conscious experience and let the users forget that they are using it. Our second theme looks more closely at presence. Now, presence in media is sometimes described as an illusion of non-mediation, or the feeling of really being there in the mediated environment, and in a sense, forgetting that the medium exists. But as we saw, it is hard to forget that the medium exists in robotic telepresence, because it demands that you consciously use it in order to move and do things. Indeed, when we ask our participants about feeling present, they did not describe an experience of truly being there. Instead, they talk about being able to do things in the environment, to be engaged in it, and to be paid attention by the people in that environment. So presence was not an illusion of being there, but an experience of being able to participate. And we should also note that those interviews took place in 2020 and 2021, and users were reporting on pre-pandemic experiences. And where they felt the most present with the robots was in meetings where they were the only remote attendee. And there they compared it to the experience of only being a remote attendee on traditional video conferencing and being ignored by those who were on site. So the physical embodiment of the robot added value in meetings taking place in person because physical presence was relevant in that setting. That is to say, the robot does not make people feel present inherently because it has embodiment, but only in situations where embodiment matters and is part of the activity. Another part of the experience that we discuss more in the paper was that the users were not able to blend in among those physically present. And so the robots always attracted attention and the remote users were treated differently. So overall, we see that the experience of being telepresent is significantly distinct from non-mediated presence. Users are very aware of the medium they are using, it impacts their activities in important ways, and they are in a position of standing out and being treated differently because of it. However, achieving a perfect sense of being there as a robot may be impossible, but we also argue that it does not necessarily need to be our aim. Users described feeling present when they were able to participate in activities. As such, we propose shifting our focus from presence to thinking more about the remote user's ability to be geared into the interaction by being able to do the things required to participate. Giving people more autonomy to act is important, but that should not be limited to ways of acting that simulate in-person capabilities. It may also involve augmented or mixed realities, for example. The right solutions would depend on what kind of actions are relevant to the activity at hand. So we call for designers and researchers to ask users not if they felt really there, but how well they were able to participate in the activities unfolding in the mediated environment. Thank you very much for listening.